So, how about this? Hello, everybody. Welcome to Office Hours Arbitrage. I'm John Taylor. I go by Arbitrage in the Numerai Rocket Chat. I've got a few people here with me today. Thank you all for joining on Zoom. And hello to everybody on Twitch. I have Honeycomb joining me via voice, and Honeycomb is the developer of NumerBay. Today we're talking about NumerBay. And the beautiful thing about it is we are very, very close to having a working version that we can debut, which this is a partial debut, correct, Honeycomb?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Honeycomb, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody. This is Honeycomb. You know me as Honeycomb from Rocket Chat. You also know me as Rest Trading from Forum.
Well, thanks for joining us today. Honeycomb, where in the world are you?
I'm in Singapore.
Great.
It's
cool.
to the south of Malaysia.
I got him to answer a question, everybody. See?
Yay.
Honeycomb asked me very politely if we could skip my famous question list, and I agreed, because I'd rather have a guest than not. But I said I was going to try anyway, so I'm 1 for 1 so far. So let's keep tally if we can. Let's see if I can slip in some questions and get them to answer them. So thanks again, Honeycomb. I do appreciate you being here today.
Okay.
You gave me a list of action points that you want to follow, so I'm just going to kind of tell everybody what we're going to do today. First, we're going to introduce NumerBay, demo the seller onboarding and the product listing process. Okay. We'll go through the buyer onboarding and checkout process too. Look at the REST API endpoints and some caveats for the beta version. So we'll have to go through a couple of gotchas. And then we'll talk about what's coming up feature and milestone wise for NumerBay. And then we'll go through some questions and some other fun stuff. Hopefully I can trick Honeycomb into answering some other questions too along the way. Honeycomb, why don't you take it away for us?
Sure. First of all, thank you for tailored to my needs, and happy to be here to introduce NumerBay.
Thanks.
This is something I've worked on for about more than 2 months now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited that we have something that's tangible that people are actually using right now. So for people who don't know, NumerBay is a community developed platform for marketplace where you can sell anything Numerai. It is funded by the Numerai Council of Elders, so great thanks to them as well. Along the way, there are a lot of support from the community and a lot of constructive feedbacks that made NumerBay what it is today. The proposal was first made in June, and it started really as a random idea. Just back then, my model was doing quite well, and there were people around me asking, "Hey, why don't you let us also stake on your models? Why not sell me the predictions so that we can also participate, even though they don't have the needed skills to do this?" So back then, there were also a lot of users in Rocket Chat and Forum that were exploring different ways for selling their predictions. There were some people go for NFTs. There were some people going for third-party platforms like Gumroad, and so on. So I just had this random idea when I was browsing a website called StockX, which was a marketplace for consumer items such as sneakers, GPUs.
Yeah, StockX calls themselves the stock market of things. And
right.
Yeah, it is. It's a pretty dope website. I've used it myself to buy and sell sneakers. And I remember you kind of floated the proposal my way to take a look at it and get some early feedback, right? And I was like, this is pretty freaking cool. I like it. And I gave you some helpful feedback. Then you went ahead and posted on the forum, and here we are. So it has been a very fun process to watch it go from idea to product implementation. So I'm pretty stoked to see what you have today.
It really was interesting. It's like a startup story.
Yeah.
So I guess that's pretty much about NumerBay. Let me just jump straight into the topic of today, which is the walkthrough of NumerBay. Let me share my screen.
Yeah, and so for the folks at home, I'm going to overlay the screen share on top of our faces so you can hear us, but you might not be able to see us. So here we go.
Okay, can you guys see it now?
Yep.
Okay, so I have 2 browsers open here, Firefox and Chrome. In this demo, I will use the Firefox for the seller demo and Chrome as the buyer.
Okay.
So what you are seeing here is the front page of NumerBay, which looks pretty good. We also have the QE's dashboard here, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to demo how you, as a seller, can get your products onto NumerBay. First of all, let me just walk you through the basic UIs. In the two tabs here, you can see all the products that's listed either as Numerai products or Signals products. And under each of them, there are subcategories. And after you get your product listed, they will be displayed here. So the first thing you need to do is, of course, log into it. There are two options for logging in. You can either use the traditional username password. You can also, if you have MetaMask installed, you can also use this as a one-click sign-in, where you just basically use your wallet to sign on, and the server recognizes your wallet.
Awesome.
And then you are signed in. So let me try this. By the way, I'm doing completely new. I deleted the old user so that I can do this as a fresh user. So the first thing you will see is you will choose which wallet you will connect. In this case, I will choose account 2. And just give it permission for viewing the address, which there is no privacy concern here, by the way. Click connect. And there is going to be a pop-up where you will need to sign a message. Let's click sign. In the future, this process will just become one click because you already authorized the website to use this wallet address for authentication purpose.
Okay.
Now, when you see a solid icon here, that means you are logged in. Click that, you will be into the profile page. As a new user, if you signed up as using your MetaMask wallet, the default username is going to be your public address. You can, of course, change this. In this case, I'm going to change it to NumerBay. The email is optional, so I will skip this for now.
Okay.
You can, of course, also set a password. Now, save and success.
So, Honeycomb, I just have a quick question.
Okay.
Would you recommend people do set a password even though they have it linked through MetaMask?
I would recommend so, because you never know if you lose your computer, at least you still have your password.
Okay.
Yeah. So on the left, you have different options that you can. There's not much right now, but for the seller, you will be interested in My Listings, where this is where you get your products listed. Since I don't have my Numerai API key set up yet, the new listing button is disabled. I have to set up my Numerai API key for this. The reason is that NumerBay has to know that you are the owner of your models. Otherwise, everybody can just pretend to be anyone else. So let me click Set Numerai API Key. This is basically this tab.
Okay.
To set up a Numerai API key, if you're not familiar, you can go to the Numerai account page, which you can access by going to Numerai. Okay, let me move this. Account and settings. Then you will be directly to this settings page. And in this case, I'm going to scroll down to the automation page section, create API key. I'm going to name this as a demo key. NumerBay right now only requires sellers to have at least view user info permission in order to verify the model ownership and other basic info.
Okay.
Type your Numerai password here, confirm. And you will see public ID and secret key. You may want to save these two values somewhere because the secret key is only displayed once.
Right.
So I'm going to copy this info, public key, to the public key.
So Honeycomb, you probably write that down on a sticky note and put it on your screen, right?
I would recommend you. I mean,
that was a joke. Don't do that. That's a very bad idea.
That's a really bad idea. I mean, It's best.
LastPass,
I mean, for
agree.
anything crypto related, any secret key or recovery phrases, it's best to either. I mean, it's best to write it down to a paper and keep it in a folder somewhere.
Yeah, I like LastPass. I use that as well.
Yeah. Okay, if you trust it. Secret key here and save. This process, depending on how many models you have, it may take up to 30 seconds. So now you can see the key is set up. It shows that I have view user info while not having the others permissions. But now it's sufficient for me to list my products. Now go to my listings, click view listing. And this is the product listing model. The first thing you need to do is to select the category. Let me see, I want to list my Numerai predictions. And then you will be able to see all your Numerai models here. Click NumerBay. If you already have icon or avatar set up in Numerai, this should be auto-populated.
Oh, okay.
In this case, I don't have one, so I will just leave it empty. Now let me go through some of these options here. You can set it to inactive. This means you barely add your listing there, but not allowing anyone to buy it yet. So that's also possible. You can also switch, instead of doing a perpetual listing, you can also choose a temporary listing. You can set a run number so that after this run, your products will be automatically disabled until you reactivate it again. So in case you want to have a holiday or something, that would be useful.
What is that, case, like vacation?
Vacation mode, basically. In StockX, if you use StockX,
I don't think anybody in Numerai takes vacations.
They're okay, that's accurate. Well, that's true. Okay, nobody takes vacations. But anyways.
I tease. I can't help
anyways,
myself.
I think...
you won't let me ask questions, so I have to, like, interject with...
do you have any questions now?
Well, no, I want to, like, sure, I have questions. Hold on, I got a list. I have a whole list. Where's my list? My list of questions. We got one already. Let's go with this one. What do you do for a living, Honeycomb?
Oh, at this point, I'm doing NumerBay for a living.
2 for 2. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. You can set a round where after which this will be expired. So if the current selling round for the round opening this Saturday this Sunday would be 283.
Okay.
Where is it? Never mind. But basically, whatever round after will be disabled. In this case, I'm just going to select perpetual listing. You have 2 modes of listing. You can either list on platform natively on NumerBay and to receive direct NMR payments from your buyers, or you can, of course, just continue to use any third-party platforms such as Gumroad. You can enter your Gumroad link here if you still prefer to use it. It's not compulsory to list on platform. So I'm going to choose on platform. Right now, NMR is the only payment option for on-platform listing. The default wallet address that your payments, the buyers, buyers' payments will be sent to is going to be your Numerai wallet. But if you prefer not to use your Numerai wallet for everything, you can also put any other wallet here.
That's nice.
Just make sure it's correct. Just make sure it's correct. Nobody is going to be able to refund if this is wrong.
I have a quick question, Honeycomb. Is the buyer told whether the prediction is for legacy or the new data or like which tournament?
Not now. Okay. Not now. Someone did suggest me to add this, but I just don't know whether it would be worth it because
the seller should do as best a job as possible describing what they're selling.
True.
Right? So I think
that's true. And also, there's no. There's a bit of. Basically, it will be hard for NumerBay to verify unless it checks all your prediction files for IDs.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
that would be first a lot of workload, and also you may not want NumerBay to go through your predictions necessarily.
Yeah.
So I'm going to price it something. Small caveat for this pricing, because Numerai wallet has a minimum limit of 1 MR for any transaction. So you must only enter anything beyond 1.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to enter 1 here.
Okay.
And you can enter any description here. This is a rich text editor. You can do fancy formattings, linking, coloring, whatever. So my super secret model. Some predictions.
Now, Honeycomb, the Numerai payment is gas-free because it also originates from another Numerai wallet. Is that correct?
How could have I missed that? Yes, that's actually one of the key value proposition for now for anyone to use on-platform listing is because if you use third-party listings, you inevitably have to pay transaction fees. But Numerai wallets, any transaction coming out of Numerai wallets are currently gas-free. So big thanks to, for now, yes.
For now,
but big thanks to Sly Fox, Numerai team for allowing this.
Yes, definitely.
So I'm going to save. And voila, you have your products listed. You can click here to view your listing. This is just a placeholder model, so it doesn't really have any performance. But you will be able to see your curves here and the key stats here. If you prefer to see any other model metrics information, just let me know. I will try to add anything if they make sense.
Well, my friend, if you've got the QE dashboard, what on earth more could you put on there? You know what I mean? Like,
good point, but this is more for usability because anybody who's checking out products, they can just view everything here.
Okay, fair point. Yeah, I mean, just said in Zoom chat, APY would be a good one to have. I just don't know if APY is going to be very relevant with the declining payout factor. I'm just spitballing right now, but like APY is going to be dependent on a stable payout factor. If it's declining, it's not a good representation because the payout factor is higher in older times.
So. Maybe I could borrow some ideas from QE dashboard.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the dashboard is useful, but I think it's more for users who are checking it out exclusive for model analysis and meta-analysis instead of people who don't know about the tournament trying to buy stuff.
Good point.
Yeah. So in the catalog page, you will also be able to see your models. So now let me dive more into this catalog page. I see there are a lot of stuff here. Other than the categories here, you also have the filters and the sort by options and the view changes. View changes are trivial. That's basically it.
Okay.
But for filtering, I think it will be useful for many people because when the number of products become large, you may want to filter out some things that you don't want. So in this case, a common use case could be I only want to see products that's available right now and that are listed on platform and whose ranks are not too bad, maybe top 2,000 maybe, and whose Numerai stake is not too low, perhaps anything more than maybe 12 returns. I don't want any negative returns. Done. And this, after all this filtering, you will be able to see a short list of products that you may be interested in.
Ooh, that Elon Musk profile pictures.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a really creative picture. Actually, interesting that you may want to know these two products were the. Yesterday there was this weird bug.
Oh right.
For category display, these two products were the likely cause for it.
Thanks, Elon.
Thanks, Elon. Okay, let me clear this filter for now.
Okay.
Because we want to see the product we just listed. I'm going to sort by the way, you have all these different kind of sort options. You can either sort by rank, stake, return MMC, core plus MMC, even 2x. And yeah, I'm going to sort by latest. This is the product I just listed.
There it is.
This glitch icon here indicate that this is on platform NMR product.
Great.
If you see any other products, such as this one, for no particular reason, that are still on third-party platforms, you will see this tag here. Otherwise, you will just see NumerBay.
Okay.
So I think that is most things I want to cover for sellers.
Okay.
Maybe a couple more, which I will demo during the purchase process. So anything for the seller flow for now? Any questions?
I kind of asked them as I saw them pop up, so I was trying to stay on top. Unless you want to look and see if some of the Slido questions account. Well, we'll just save that. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Of course, for sellers, you can, after you do all this stuff, you can also just edit it, of course. You can deactivate it, or you can reactivate it. So that's basically for the sellers.
Okay.
Now, let me come to the buyers.
There is one more question. I wonder about those gas prices. Would it be possible to put gas prices next to the price of the models when third party is used? That seems like that might be a little redundant because, gas rates fluctuate so much. I don't know. Maybe just linked to what is that gas estimator site? There's one for Ethereum in particular.
Gas Now.
Gas Now. Yeah,
Gas
I think
Now.
just providing a link maybe would be sufficient if you think it's.
I don't have a link here.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Just a suggestion there.
Yeah. Gas Now, yes.
Yeah.
And also, for third-party platform listings, mostly are people who prefer fiat. So that means it's platforms like Gumroad, which there are no gas fees.
Right. Well,
and also
transaction fees. But...
There are transaction fees, but the best I can do is to allow the sellers to indicate a reference price,
right,
as they do right now. There's no way for me to verify it.
Good point. So did you want to do the buyer now?
Sure.
Okay.
So I'm also going to, for the buyer, I already have an account set up, but you as the buyer, the first thing you come to mind, of course, is to see what's available. In this case, of course, since it's a demo, I'm just going to try to buy the one that was just listed, NumerBay. You can either click buy here, or you can click into it and buy. Now, since I'm not logged in, I will be asked to do so. I'll just do that right now. The reason for requiring buyers to log in is because the platform needs to know where what your Numerai wallet address is. Otherwise, there's no way to check your payments. Okay, click buy. And you will come to the pre-confirmation page, see if your product is right, the price is right. And a small disclaimer here, you have to make your payment, at least for now, you make your payment in one single transaction in full.
I like that.
And directly to the seller. So if you break your payments down into 2-3 different payments, there's no way for the website to reconcile it. At least not yet.
I think that's fine though. Paying full people.
Yeah, and also Numerai, at least for my testing, there's no rounding error in terms of the amount to send. So there's no problem there. And also, of course, neither Numerai nor NumerBay or anybody who's involved in NumerBay is going to be liable for any loss resulting from this transaction.
Yep. Caveat emptor, buyer beware.
Yep. I'll click pay. Now, you will have 15 minutes to send this payment to this address with this amount. And of course, making sure that you are sending from this address. This is very important. If you don't make your payment in 15 minutes, the order will automatically expire. So any payments after expiration won't be counted. But after expiration, you can try to purchase it again.
Okay.
So I will copy the address and go to my Numerai wallet.
So I'm sorry, just real quick. If
okay.
Let's say I don't make it in time for whatever reason, but I submitted the payment. The payment goes through, but I didn't do it in time. Now what?
I mean, that's too bad.
Because okay, we got to be careful. All right.
Okay, actually, it's not that bad. I mean, I'm still here, so you can always try to DM me and tell me your situation. Okay. But it's best to just let it confirm automatically.
For sure. I'm just thinking in some that's what I was asking.
I mean, if you I mean,
the blockchain
if you really just miss it for right, the average confirmation time during my testing was actually pretty quick. You only took about 30 seconds to confirm.
Yeah.
So I mean, any reasonable timing.
It's usually pretty quick.
Yes. So usually really quick. You just need to make your payments not too late. Yeah. Not like 15 minutes on the spot.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, so was just concerned because sometimes like the Numerai node needs to be restarted and it can be 12 hours before that comes through. But I guess as long as there's some way in an edge case where this could potentially happen, as long as there's a way to reconcile and make sure that a transaction that actually shipped represents a fulfilled order, that would be that'd be good.
When those kind of rare events happen, right. You can always just approach me for manual reconciliation.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah. So I'm going to copy.
One more question. Sorry. How would this work? Okay. For example, like if you did a weekly subscription thing, right? Is the payment scheduled? Like, can you schedule the payment out, or do you still have to manually go through every week and send it?
Payment scheduling is impossible for now, unless there's some custom contracts written for that.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
I don't see a way of doing that right now.
Yeah.
There are other ways for subscriptions, which I will maybe discuss later.
Sure. Okay. It was just a question I saw on Zoom, and I just wanted to pass it.
Yeah. Let me just continue this payment flow. Yeah. Otherwise, I don't want it to expire. Copy this and go to make sure it's your Numerai wallet. Click withdraw. Paste the address here.
Oh, that's not my address. You got to change those last few digits there. I'll give it to you, so you can send it to me.
Why do I need to send it to you?
I tease. Carry on, my friend. Sorry.
Okay. So I mean, to prevent any scam, make sure you use the copy button so that you always get the right address.
Yep.
We have a scammer online here. Okay, copy the total as well. It's really recommended to copy the exact amount.
Absolutely.
Just in case, I mean, I don't see a rounding error yet, but I mean, just in case if there is any rounding error, just copy it and paste here too. And click next. Enter your password here. Okay, now you know how many digits of password I have.
That's okay.
2FA. Hold on a sec.
No worries. Take your time. There's some suggestions on both Twitch and Zoom. Maybe increase the timeout to 30 minutes. That might save some headaches. But really, it's either going to work or it's going to be hours after the fact. Like, that's what I've noticed. So it's either going to go through right away or it's going to completely fail, in which case you won't be the only person.
Did you say 30 minutes or 30 seconds?
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
I may have said 30 seconds, but I meant 30 minutes.
Okay, 30 minutes. That makes sense. I can do that.
Yeah. And you can optimize it as well. Like if 30 minutes is sufficient, maybe dial it down to 20. There are ways to mitigate.
Okay, let me just wait for the 2FA to refresh.
Yeah, no problem.
Confirm. What?
Whoopsies.
Okay. Okay, and now withdraw.
Okay.
I will see the transaction record here. You can check its confirmation on Etherscan.
Right.
I'm doing video streaming, so it's really slow here. I'm just going to skip this.
You're okay.
Yeah. And now it's the backend is waiting for confirmation. It should redirect you after it's confirmed, hopefully. I've tried multiple times. There was no issue. So hopefully this goes as well.
So on your screen share, what do you see? We're still on your success page.
I think my screen share just dropped. My Wi-Fi actually dropped.
It did, okay. No worries. We still have your voice.
Yeah. Let me.
Yep, it did. It's okay.
Wait for my Wi-Fi to come back on.
Not a problem. Well, let's chat about some stuff real quick while we have a moment. Let's do the Slido questions, and then we can let your
sure.
Okay. Actually, RigRog has the first question. When and how will NumerBay facilitate third-party staking?
It depends on what you are referring to. Are you referring to? Hold on a sec. I can't multitask. Sorry.
They're in Zoom, so Rig, why don't you?
Okay.
Take over.
So
what do you mean?
What I have in mind is instead of sending my prediction file to the guy, he just stakes on the model and according to terms mutually agreed upon.
Okay. The Numerai project right now is about 70% done. There are two milestones so far. The first one is the off platform. The second one is this on platform. The third milestone is going to be the stake mode, what I call it stake mode, which basically means your file that actually doesn't go directly to the buyer. You submit for the buyer.
I like that a lot.
You submit for the buyer, so the buyer can never see your file.
Okay, how about if I don't make a submission for each buyer, I just whatever submission I make for the RigRog model, other people can stake
model
on
copying,
it.
Right? Oh, stake on your model?
Yeah, stake on my model. So I have a stake on it, and then other people can also stake.
Other people have to stake on their own accounts,
right.
But that account can be uploading your predictions. So what I have in mind is, NumerBay automates the submission for the buyers. The buyer don't get the files, and you can set a limit of how much a buyer can stake on that particular purchase. Yeah, so let's say I buy your. Continue.
No, I was just saying that I think I can maybe summarize it. But what would happen is your file would be uploaded on your behalf to your third-party purchaser, and so they are still effectively staking on your model. It's just on a separate model spot, and that helps with accounting and everything else.
I have to do an upload for each buyer instead of just my one upload for me.
It would be done for you, so you would have to give it.
You only need to do one upload to NumerBay, and the NumerBay backend will schedule the jobs for submitting for all of your buyers.
Oh, okay. So I do an upload to Numerai, and then I
I don't have access to Numerai.
Too.
In this case, I would demo how you can submit to NumerBay.
Yeah.
That's after the payment confirmation, which I'm trying to reconnect my Wi-Fi.
You had it, Rig. You're right. You do it twice.
You
upload to Numerai and to NumerBay, but then you're done. And so if 1,000 people made a purchase, you wouldn't have to do 1,000 different uploads. It's still 2.
Okay. So what I had in mind, I guess, would require that Numerai would be tightly coordinating with NumerBay.
Through the API, yeah.
Yeah.
So that would require NumerBay to have access to the actual submission files, or at least tell Numerai to submit to other people's accounts. That would be up to them to implement.
I think that would help, so that users would know that they're actually getting the same prediction. Now they can look at the performance later and confirm it, but if they would know from the get-go that I'm not putting a different file in for them than I am for me.
I agree. In that case, you can also bypass the NumerBay platform, which would be, I mean, that would be good actually, since there would be no security issue. But that would be completely up to Numerai to whether to implement this kind of
right. And therein lies the problem.
Forwarding submissions.
This being completely independent of the actual team, that would be problematic. So we have to, I'd say we need to be independent completely. And so I think that we'll have to see how it works out. It's an interesting edge case.
I mean, it is a really interesting use case. I think I will ask the team member to see if that's a possibility. Yeah.
So that was the first question. Honeycomb, how's your Wi-Fi?
I'm back on. Okay. I'm back on.
Cool.
Okay. So
take it away, my friend.
Okay. Now you can see the status is confirmed, which is great. I can view all the details here. It will have the transaction hash for your reference.
Cool.
Now let's go to the buyers.
Maybe you could make that a Etherscan link. Uh-oh, we losing his voice?
I will try to do it.
Oh, there it is.
Okay, so now is it okay?
Yep.
Okay, so now let's simulate how a seller would distribute their files to the buyers. Okay. Let's assume now the next round is already open. And this is the seller's page. I have my listing here. You can see there are two buttons. One of them is called Artifacts. I will click that. So this is the page where you actually attach the whatever file you want to have for this particular product.
Okay.
You can either drag a file here, or you can actually, if you have your file somewhere else, you can also just manually enter some URL. You don't have to submit to NumerBay. So let me drag the great example predictions here. Mm-hmm. Done. So the file names are actually obfuscated. So whatever your original file name is, NumerBay won't be able to see it. It's going to be this kind of format.
Okay.
You can add a description here. It's a submission. It's going to save. You can also add some URL here. You can also delete some things if you don't want them.
This is really great.
Now after you have attached your files, now let's go to the buyer. The buyer in their order history page, they can see the order details, and now they will be able to see this file, and they will be able to download it. The download links are dynamically generated. It's a temporary link. It's alive for 10 minutes only. So they won't be able to just give this link to others and.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys prefer a shorter expiration time, just let me know. If you want 1 minute expiration or less.
So after you click download the first time, it disappears after 10 minutes.
So if you see the actual link, it's this.
Okay.
This link expires in 10 minutes.
Got it. Okay.
But it can be whatever the community wants. If they want less or more, just let me know.
I don't know. I think that's probably sufficient.
Yeah.
I have no preference. I don't know.
Yeah. So now you have your submission files. Now you can, upload to your account, whatever.
Got it. Cool.
So I think, let me see if there's any more stuff for the buyer. Yeah. The seller, you will also be able to see the sales history. You will be able to see who bought your predictions.
Oh, cool.
If in the future, I can try to add some seller analytics, like how much your sales have been in the past week, month or so, or whatever. That's possible. And for the buyers, you will also be able to, let me see. Actually, that's it, I think, for the buyers. By the way, there's one more feature I missed. You can search for products here.
I don't think I have a listing. It's on leverage. It should be an old expired one.
Leverage, yes.
I don't know if it's still active.
Yeah, it's the leverage.
Yeah, cool.
Let me see if there's anything else. How are we doing on time?
You're fine, my friend. You're fine.
Okay. There is one more thing I want to cover, which is the REST APIs.
Yes.
So for the sellers, especially for those people who are busy, they not necessarily want to go to NumerBay website every week, especially if you have 30 models. So if you scroll down, you will see two API docs here. One is Swagger, the other is Redoc. Just choose one that you prefer. You will be able to see the NumerBay API specs.
Awesome.
For Swagger especially, you'll be able to interact with it. So there's actually a lot of APIs here, but you don't need to focus on all of them, just the top three, which is the login, user, and the products. As to how to use them, I have created an example notebook in the Council of Elders NumerBay GitHub repo. It's here, called NumerBay example notebook. This demonstrates how you can basically log in, get your authentication token, upload your product artifacts.
Awesome.
And so on.
Oh, I think people are going to like that a lot.
Yeah, and you will just need to check the API docs if you need other functionalities. And if the API docs, the API docs right now, they're automatically generated, so it's not too well documented. If you see anything that you don't understand, just ping me. I will try my best to explain those things to you.
Yeah, document all the things.
That's a lot of work.
Yes, documentation is a lot of work, I know. Mm-hmm.
I'm focusing on building stuff that works first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. Hey, I have a quick question, Honeycomb. What do you do for fun?
I like to watch viral videos.
Okay.
On YouTube and other platforms. But basically, at least for the past 2 months, I don't have much time.
Workaholic. Got it.
Workaholic.
Got it. That's 3 for 3, folks.
Let me see. I think I missed something. Let me see the outline. Oh yeah, since this is a beta version, there are a few caveats that you might want to keep in mind. The first one is, of course, the API. If you are using the API may change. I will try to make those clear and give some heads up. By the way, the place I give heads up and dev updates mostly are in the NumerBay Rocket Chat. So if you haven't joined,
look at all those notifications in your Rocket Chat.
Hey, this is this is not my main place to. I don't usually check these ones. The scores. That's
a lot of notifications. Okay.
No, it's not much. You see 1, 2. I check fairly often. Yeah. The general ones I haven't checked since the stream started, so
that's okay.
But basically, do check out NumerBay. I usually post dev updates, or if there's any urgent bugs, I will post there too, like the thing that happened last night.
Right.
Also, the regular updates, weekly updates, are also posted in one of these threads called updates in the forum. So also check that out.
Yep.
because it's a beta version, there are a few things to keep in mind, which I will just go through here in the NumerBay release. The first two issues are related, which is that the round opening and round rollover timing sometimes varies. Mm-hmm. I haven't been able to make a really robust thing out of this. So to avoid any timing issues, by timing issues I mean if you buy stuff too late, right before the submission deadline, or if you download stuff right before the submission deadlines and so on, just try to avoid doing any stuff too close to the deadline, right? Or try to buy predictions for the following round immediately after the submission deadline of the previous round. So try to avoid those two things.
Yeah, that's generally pretty good advice. I mean, I tell my students the same thing. Like, just pretend the deadline is Sunday morning.
Correct, yes.
And then you don't have any problems. So.
Yeah, but this works both ways. You don't want to be too early too, because if the round hasn't rolled over and you buy something, when the round does roll over, your order is considered expired.
Right.
So you won't be able to download anything. But if that happens, just let me know. I will try to correct things. Of course, I will try to fix these two as soon as possible, maybe in a week or two, because to validate these, I need actual round rollovers to happen. So it takes weeks to before I can get to a stable thing. And also, there's a really rare issue I've only encountered once during testing for payment that could be mission critical, which is sometimes I made payments too soon. That means I create order and I immediately go to the payment page and just send. Somehow the timestamp of the payment ended up before the order creation. So try not to do it too quickly. Wait maybe 30 seconds before you make the actual payments, which I think should be quite common. Yeah. And the last issue is that email notifications are disabled for now because the mail providers are marking all the stuff as spam. Sad. Okay. Those are the caveats to keep in mind.
Yeah, thanks for that.
And for the next item to discuss would be the immediate upcoming features and future milestones, which I already kind of covered. The next milestone to work on is going to be the stake mode, where the sellers submit files for their buyers so that the buyers don't actually get the submission files. And in addition, it may also be possible for the sellers to limit how much the buyer can stake on each purchase. And further down the line, subscription sales is also a really in-demand feature. Mm-hmm. That has some difficulty in implementation because in crypto you don't really do regular payments. You do one by one. So in order for subscription to work, it may one possible workaround would be sell products instead of weekly products. You sell month by month, so it becomes a prepaid subscription. You buy for 1 month and you get predictions for the next 4 weeks and so on. That could be possible. So I'll try to see if that works. And if anybody has any brilliant ideas on how to actually make subscription payments work, post anywhere, and I will try to see if I can do it. Those are the future features. Now, awesome. Before we get to the rest of the questions, I want to say something regarding to this very stream, and also the streams pretty much you see every score day, the DSC, and the office hour. I heard that it's going to be ending next week, September 30th.
Yeah, in fact, this is the last office hours arbitrage. You're my last guest.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty special.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. But it's to me, it's pretty sad to see this happening. It's been a really good resource for me. I've joined this tournament a year ago, last September. And the very first interaction I had with this community was on the Twitch stream, on the Daily Scores and Chill.
Awesome.
This was the thing that got me into it, basically.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and the reason for me to choose Honeycomb as the name is solely because my Twitch handle happened to be Honeycomb. My original username was
cool.
Last Trading.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Anyways, these two streams have helped me a lot along the ways. There are a lot of live advice given, really good advice, such as Ensemble and etc. I've learned a lot about finance. I've learned a lot about machine learning and so on, which I don't think I would by exploring myself. So really appreciate that the work you have done for the community. I appreciate these two streams, and I really hope future newcomers could also enjoy these great community resources.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate the kind words. And, I'm very fortunate to be joined on screen right now. I've got Doc Kinesis. He's a former guest of mine. QE Intelligence, he was on last week. Rigorog didn't make it to you, but, that's okay. Maybe someday, right? This is the last office hours with arbitrage. Tentatively, I reserve the right to do it on my own at some point. But, this is be it. This is season 4, episode 14. We're putting a bow on top, so I'm really pleased with everything I've accomplished with the streams. I've helped a lot of people. I have 7,919 individual people introduced to Numerai via Twitch, 348 Twitch followers, 6 subscribers. I've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of streaming content over the past 2 years almost, and I enjoyed every minute of it. I've learned as much as I've taught, I would imagine. And it's been a great privilege to help everybody. So I thank you all, everybody watching, everybody on the stream. I thank you very much for the opportunity. And I look forward to what the future holds for all of us. So thank you, Honeycomb. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm done with all the things I want to say. So I will leave that to the audience. Any questions?
Yeah, we got the last Slido question, didn't we? No, we didn't. So the last question was... first, it's a compliment. Great stuff with NumerBay. I'm curious what categories will be added besides the existing data and predictions.
Right now, there aren't much differences between any categories. So in theory, any category could be added. There is not much difference other than the tournament number being different. They are all the same. So if you have other stuff you want to add, which I haven't thought of, just let me know. I will see if I can add those. Right now, for the Numerai tournament, you have predictions, you have models. By models, I mean any code that can be run, notebooks, or binaries, and so on. For signals, right now there is predictions and data.
Okay. Any questions from Zoom or Twitch? Yeah, great demo, Honeycomb. Appreciate that very much.
Thank you.
There's a little lag, so perhaps we should just banter a little bit. Honeycomb, on a scale of 1 to 10, how weird are you?
Next question.
I tried. Oh, see, now I'm 3 for 4. 3 for 4. That I'll take that. That's actually pretty good. There's got to be one that's not so controversial. Come on now. Let's see here. What are you not very good at?
Data science.
Oh, stop it.
I mean,
stop it.
I mean, my models, my rank has dropped quite a lot recently.
Rank doesn't matter.
I mean,
rank on core doesn't matter. No, it doesn't.
Percentile-wise, it matters.
It doesn't take into account risk.
No, I mean, I just don't think I have joined this tournament for a year now.
Right.
And I'm still nowhere near the top.
I just don't think it matters, but that's my opinion. I feel everybody wants to be at the top.
It is pretty demoralizing for me.
To be at the top on core, which is the only rank that you're talking about, to be on top in correlation, you have to have a very high feature exposure model, and that carries a lot of risk. Now, unless you're doing some kind of regime prediction, which again, I still have no evidence. Nobody's provided any evidence that it works. I just want to be clear on that. Nobody's provided evidence that you can predict regime successfully. But I get it. Everybody wants to be on top. I'm just saying that core by rank is flawed because it doesn't count for risk, and you're being suppressed by non-staked models. So let's sort on staked only, and then let's chat again, because I think you're not as bad as you think.
Oh yeah, one advice for buyers, potential buyers on NumerBay, try to filter by stake. You don't necessarily want to stake on or buy models that are 0 stake or close to 0 stake.
I would tend to agree.
Because it's a signal of relative confidence. Yeah, even though it's relative confidence, you can't be too low.
Why would you pay more for a prediction file than the person is even staking?
That's correct. Yeah. That doesn't make sense.
Well, none of that is financial advice. Let me give my little disclaimer here.
Well,
caveat emptor, buyer beware. It's your money. You could lose it all. Do your own homework, etc., etc. I digress.
So what was the discussion?
No, I think that was it. We're just stalling so people ask questions, but we don't have any, so I guess we should just do the outro. I want to thank everybody for being here today, especially Honeycomb. You're doing great work on NumerBay, and I'm very happy to see it progress. I'm looking forward to what you have to build going forward. And I want to thank all my guests. I want to thank the Numerai team for letting me do this. This was a bold call. I said I want to do a live stream, and I want to talk to people about stuff, and I want to get to know the user base, and I want to